Okay, calling the meeting of the Building and Grounds Committee meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. It's 2:07 p.m. And I will take roll call. Annie Vitaso Klubja,
Present.
Amanda Pound,
Present.
Mike Karalevich.
Present.
Okay. No visitors, no public comment. So we'll move on to the approval of minutes, which I have a conundrum here.
Yeah, we don't have anybody to second.
We don't have a second.
No, yeah,
I just
we
realized
don't.
that.
Yeah, and we don't have, they're not on the board anymore.
No.
So Annalee's not on the board and
Mm-hmm.
Can you
And
second?
Michelle isn't.
I can't, no. So I think the
Oh.
minutes will have to, I'm gonna have to consult with the city and maybe bring those back to the next meeting, because I don't know what to do. Or I could potentially
bring them
put
to the
them in a
board?
packet. I
In
could
a
bring them
board
to
deck?
the entire board.
But
But we-
Annalee and Michelle aren't on the board
Oh,
anymore.
that's right. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to consult with the city.
Yeah, I don't know what you
So the
do.
minutes, we'll have to table the minutes, the approval of the minutes. So do I have a motion to table?
I make a motion we table the minutes.
Do I have a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed.
Are you taking minutes?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
Oh, so, yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. 2:07.
Okay. So the first thing, order of business, is the building walkthrough. I did that first because there might be some things that you see that come up that you're gonna wanna put on the capital improvement.
Right, and Amanda said, it take a while and we're still doing stuff and she has a hard stop at a certain time for her son's appointment. So we'll make sure we get to the important stuff where we all need to be around to talk about
Yeah, and
stuff.
yeah.
And then the carpet approval.
What's your hard,
3:15.
oh, okay. 45 minutes for the walkthrough?
We'll see.
Yeah,
Does this need to be voted on?
no,
Okay.
that's just a recommendation to the board.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop the meeting here at 2:09 PM and we will be back continuing the meeting after the building walkthrough. Okay, it's 3:02 PM and the building walkthrough just took place, so we're starting the meeting back up again. With the next item of business being discussion and creation of the 2025 building maintenance checklist, which Annie Vitaso Klubja is working on. So I don't know if there's any more discussion, anything that you wanna say immediately?
And no real safety concerns.
I mean,
Nothing glaringly obvious.
we try to address the safety stuff
Yeah.
right away,
I
but some of
think
the.
in general looks good. I mean, you
Yeah,
know.
and any of the things that would be talked about being done, it would be kind of like, okay, if we're gonna talk about ceiling tile, if we're gonna talk about wallpaper,
Yeah.
those types of things. Doors in the Fedro room or the
Just around where
molding on the
usage.
floor,
usual dings.
that's, banged up. So it's like, okay, what do you wanna do?
Yeah,
How often do they clean the windows?
That's on here.
not often,
Hmm.
yeah.
The only actual trip hazard dangerous thing we saw was there's that carpeting in front of by the VR area. There's that shelf and there's carpet there. That's the edges are popping
Oh,
out.
so it's the area rug?
Yeah.
The Antarctica map one. It looks
I-
like it's been.
I think it's going tonight, because,
Okay.
yeah, there's obvious signs that maybe some leaky diapers or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Looks like it's.
So Carrie's gonna have Mark remove that one
Mhm.
tonight, and then vacuum the whole room really well.
The only thing in the kitchen outlets above countertop to code. Mike was concerned.
Oh, okay.
There's some
Yeah,
kind
like
of
they,
code
like
thing. I just wanna make sure
they
you can
have
read
one,
that.
they have one that's close to the sink,
Mhm.
that's the GFI, but from what I read, anything that's above a counter should be GFI.
Somebody's opening the shades.
So
in the
whether
next
it's,
room.
whether it's the one behind the microwave or the one over on the right-hand side, they should
I'll have
all
Joe,
be the
yeah,
same.
yep, okay,
Yeah.
And one other important question.
yeah.
The new control panels outside, those
Yeah.
shut off
The levers
arms,
there?
are those levers secure? Or
You
can
mean-
anybody turn that off?
On the electrical.
I'll have to check on that. too.
Yeah, because they're just big red handles that look
It's just
like.
for the solar?
Yeah.
Okay. I can check on that.
I mean, it looks like it's an emergency thing, so maybe there's got to be
I can-
access to it, but
I
it
can
also
ask,
looks like it's
um,
a teenager on a
Oh, yeah.
scooter thing.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. I can ask.
They never should've came
I
out with
hate
scooters.
summer. I hate scooters.
I'm actually gonna go to the city and say, you know, you got kids that are, number one, they're going faster than the speed limit
Oh, yeah.
in the neighborhood.
The
And-
electric scooters.
And,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's usually 2 or 3 of them, and they'll just like whip right through stop sign and stuff like that. It's like, okay, if we have bike rodeos where we teach kids what's the proper
Safety
stuff
town.
is, safety stuff, like, okay, everybody who's got a scooter, you gotta come in for a safety stuff. We'll put a sticker on your scooter. If we see you without a sticker,
In Tosa, I've seen them coming straight at me in traffic.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
you know, our driveway is quite the racetrack, and you tell these kids that, I'm sorry, it's private property. Private property? You're going down my driveway. Like, get out.
Yeah, I don't want something to happen to you.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
that's exactly, and that's what I'm thinking of. It's just like, you know what, because just like that, you have cars that aren't paying attention for kids, and I'm talking to you, and I come into the intersection, all of a sudden the scooter comes through, I don't even see it, and, you know, you don't want to have that happen.
One thing that Michelle Eichmann always talked about was putting some kind of rail there at the handicap ramp outside out front.
Wouldn't we have to rip out concrete to
We-
do that? Didn't she
they-
have like one?
I don't know how many complained, but it came up several times. And I talked to Joe. Yeah. So, but I'll talk to Joe 2.0.
Okay.
See if there's
We just
any-
met Joe 1.0.
Was that 1.0 we met?
Yeah.
Joe
he-
1.0 was here?
Yeah,
Wait, that
he
was Joe
out-
1.0,
Yeah.
right?
He did quote himself as
Joe
a black
1.0.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joe 2.0. He looks like he was in the Army.
Yeah, that's
or
Joe
the Navy.
2.0 that we met then.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joe 2.0.
I asked him if he
Perfect.
was Joe 2.0, and he said, no, I'm Joe 1.0.
Maybe.
Oh,
Well,
he's-
maybe he didn't
And he's
understand our
striving.
code.
Does he know you call him Joe 2.0?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
good.
I call him New Joe.
He actually came out the door just as we were criticizing the gum on the front walkway.
He's great.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah, nice guy.
He's good. Yeah.
Okay. All right, nothing else.
So yeah, the railing, I am gonna look into it just to see what the cost would be. I mean, it's never in the 20-something years, it's really not ever come up until recently. I'm not saying it's not needed, but I don't know.
Railing for stairs, I think, would be needed more than railing on a ramp,
I agree.
especially
So-
since I'm sure it's ADA compliant as
That's
far
what I was
as
going to
the.
say. I'm
It-
sure
the
it's
slope.
ADA.
When it was all redone,
It was probably had to be.
it had to be ADA compliant when it was redone. That was just when was the parking lot redone? 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
I think a patron was complaining because where it's bumbly there, where they
Oh.
put that,
Yeah.
hate that.
that gets slick when it's wet. So
It does.
somebody was complaining that there should be a
Yeah,
rail.
it's one of those catch-22 situations.
Yeah, you have to put it there because it stops a wheelchair from rolling
Yeah.
away,
Yeah.
but it makes it a little slick there for people walking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can move on to C, discussion and recommendation for capital improvement strategies. So I attached, it's kind of tiny. I attached do you have this, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
So this was my original document. So this is what's been submitted to the city. So I've made capital improvement forms for all of these for the city.
Mm-hmm.
However, Maria went to the finance committee meeting last night because
How'd that go for?
the city's very concerned because their net new construction was only 1.4%, and they had a new police contract, and they have increased insurance costs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very concerned. So Maria's opinion was we probably should not do the furniture next year. I feel like with the carpet, I kind of feel like we can't delay
What if we
maintenance.
find somebody to pay for it for us?
Well, the furniture, I think that, first of all, the Phaedro, I put the Phaedro chairs in there because they are bad, but they're still serviceable.
Right.
They're not falling apart. They're fine.
Used to be one of my mom's favorite things to say. It's still serviceable.
Still serviceable. The Carrie's in my desk. I think we could ask the foundation for those.
I think so too.
I think the foundation would be more likely to cover that than they would be carpeting.
In fact, was that just outside of young adult, or well, where did we see that big desk?
Oh,
That
over by
had,
The
fiction.
old entry desk. The desk that used to be in the foyer.
Grab
It's
one of
still
them?
there.
It is? What's that other desk
What's
for?
the big desk?
Did you see the desk over in Fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fiction, yeah.
That was, okay, so when the building was built, that was supposed to be for a reader's advisory librarian.
Oh.
They were gonna have they were hoping at some point in the future to get somebody who would sit there and basically assist people in the fiction area finding books. Well, that never
Well, you got a desk.
happened. So we have that desk.
You got a
It's
desk.
huge. But it
Yeah.
could be moved into I could use it in my office.
That's too clunky though.
That's so big.
That's
How-
too
Is
clunky.
your
Oh,
office
it's
that big that you could even
Not
have
really,
that?
but I'm just saying I could.
I thought the big desk is
We
still,
actually were
oh,
gonna
I
try.
guess
We
so,
were
you
gonna
put
try
that
to
table
sell
in.
it.
Yeah.
On the auction site,
That's not a
Wisconsin
bad idea.
surplus auction site. So,
Okay.
because we don't really want it there. I mean, we're not ever gonna get a niche librarian that just does.
Now the desks that you're looking for your offices, is that something that you would expect to have, like at least a drawer that you could put hanging files in, and
Currently, it's so broken.
What's the budget for that? Like did you guys price it out?
We looked at like we looked at some catalogs and
is that
found
what
some
this
that we
furniture is, or is
Go
that?
to IKEA?
liked. I mean, I was kind of
Stop
joking
it.
about that at
I
in the
mean-
meeting, but I think we could probably find some serviceable desks
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
for. I don't think it would be 55,000. I don't think 55,000 was including the Phaedro room chairs.
Yep.
But we could bring that down. But I really think we do need to do the carpet. Number one, I think there is an argument too. You want to do it while you're still able to get the same pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, he said the price really hasn't gone up that much.
What's that price? 18 grand?
18, yeah. Which was about what I was going to say because I thought it's about a third of the
Right,
project
right.
over here, and that project was 50. I was
Now,
like- I was-
now that part is not going to require getting the
Shelving
the group
guys.
to come in to move stuff.
Maybe, well, it might, but it wouldn't be nearly what it was this time.
Well, let's make sure that those numbers are included in there. So if we're talking about doing carpeting, where would that fall under?
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
That would fall under building. It would still be in capital.
I know, but
It would be under building improvements, which
so you
is
got to add that to this list. It's not on.
right. It's not on here now. This is the current capital improvement request I put in for the city. So what I'd have to do is I would have to go in and change the one for next year.
Well, maybe take the
If-
Phaedro room serviceable chairs out, put your desks in, and if the desks are going to come out of that furniture one, and then add the carpeting in there, and net, it might be the same.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably be less because I can't imagine our desks are gonna be that much.
Your
Self-
desk won't be that much.
Self
The
checks,
grand
you don't
scheme
have
of
a
that.
number next to them, and
Oh, that's done. Sorry.
okay, so just
Does that-
replace
Sorry, I
replace that with
I
the.
took 2025 column out and then forgot to
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to take that out. So I will remove that
Okay.
because that's been done.
Okay, so on the right hand side where you've got meeting room chairs, you can take that out and put
Mm-hmm.
carpeting in. Okay, so that's basically going to be the 2026.
Yeah.
That's calendar year 2026,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
The children's area redesign would have to come from fundraising. I mean, there's no way we would get the money
Right.
from the city, especially with all the money that they put into the library with the solar and the HVAC.
Cut HVAC.
Yeah.
How big a thing are we talking about there? Is that like really big money?
It's not big money like you're knocking down walls and or expanding or anything, but it's big money in that it would be new shelving, which is expensive. And it would be
Is it-
some aesthetic stuff, like taking this wallpaper down and
Okay.
painting fun colors and getting some artwork and,
Okay. What I'm thinking is that, with the existing library staff, would you guys be able to put together a campaign to raise money for it?
with the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think,
I would
I really
suggest
think
doing
that
that.
this is a foundation, could be a foundation-driven.
The
I
children's area
agree,
thing?
I agree.
Uh-huh.
And considering some of our other earlier conversations about
Yeah, yeah.
people and donations
Yeah.
and things, that area people want to.
And I've had two pager at the John Gerda
Oh,
program
okay.
last
Yeah, yeah.
year, because that's when I started talking about that we
Mhm.
want to do this.
Mhm.
My goal was to do it the 25th anniversary, which is May of 2027. That's not that far away. It's like less than 2 years. I don't know. We'll have to see if I can get it done by then. But
Well, you could, you know, if you raise money, you could have a project kickoff in May and then have it done sometime during the year.
yeah.
Ribbon cutting, whatever you want to call it.
So, but I had two patrons who are interested in donating. I mean,
That's
one
awesome.
of them said it's not like millions, but it's like money from her mother's estate. And her
Oh,
mother
wonderful.
was a teacher and
Yeah.
loved reading. And so I think we've got some possible source.
You know, in so many
sources
places
here.
when they have, and you even have them around here, where people donate, make sure that we have some type of recognition thing on there for
Mhm.
those folks that
And
are putting it
yeah.
through.
So like there's still Dennis was in talking to me yesterday. There's still a study room that's not named.
Oh, yeah?
And he's all about naming rights because he's like, that's what they did when they built the library.
Yeah.
You see
Mhm.
the plaques all over the place.
Sure.
And I said, hey, if somebody donated a large sum of money for the children's area, I would have no problem putting
Naming
a
it.
name on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
So,
All right.
Okay, the biggest number on here is library materials.
yeah,
And we talked about stuff during the budget meeting on Monday.
that's coming
Uh,
down a little bit. Yeah.
Because it has to, or because
Yeah, because
You
I
overshot.
don't have too many areas to pull from anymore.
okay.
So, do we put donation jars everywhere and say we need help with purchasing library materials?
That's gotta be a foundation thing where,
Yeah.
we've got that donate button,
Which,
on the
yeah.
website, and just try to get, and maybe a couple of times a year, you do like public radio does, and you do something out there. We're having a fund drive, have some
Mm-hmm.
giveaways and things, and say, we need to raise X number of dollars by such and such a time, right? And then
yeah.
hit a target, and then
Mm-hmm.
have people, go ahead and donate for it
Yeah.
at that point.
There's got to
like,
be some way we can.
because I'm not going to be able to keep hoopla next year, I don't think.
No, there's got to be some way we can capitalize on all of this programming where we can ask people for donations.
And the librarians, all the librarians have been instructed to take the donation jars in there. I don't go in and check on them, but I have told them so many times.
And there's a QR code stuck to the side of the donation
No,
bin.
because
Why
no.
not?
It would go to it would have to go to the foundation at that point then, because that's the only, because the city, like Venmo, I'd have to get the city's bank account information, and I'm not 100% sure they would
won't
want
always
to do that.
do that with Venmo and PayPal and things of that nature. But if it went to the foundation, it would still be coming back in some way, right?
I mean, I could, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Stick a
Because
QR code on those.
For the current foundation, yes. I mean, I worry a little bit, like, what if there are foundations that can potentially cause problems, but our current structure, the current membership of our foundation, they pretty much give us whatever we request. They don't try to,
What do you need it for?
they don't try to determine what we need.
Mm-hmm.
They listen to us. So as long as we still have the current members, I think we're fine.
Okay. So then, are you gonna bring this forward the next board meeting?
So, yeah, so it would be your recommendation, the Building and Grounds Committee recommendation for, so we want to scrap your recommendation is to scrap the meeting room
Meeting room
chairs.
chairs.
Meeting room chairs,
Replace that with
the
carpeting.
Carpeting.
Which would be, I mean, that's gonna be a lot less.
Fine.
What's wrong with the Siebert conference room table?
Oh, it's icky. I mean, it's not that bad, but I don't have that one being replaced for a while. 2028.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got nicks.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just,
Shoe polish.
I don't
How
know.
about the flooring in the children's area?
That would get redone with the
With
the
the carpeting.
redesign. I
Oh,
wouldn't
the
do it
redesign.
before
Oh,
because
okay.
you wouldn't want
You
to,
don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Mhm.
Okay.
you don't want to replace it and then have work being done and
Okay.
it get gross.
All right.
So I'd rather have that be all one
Mhm.
project and hopefully get money fundraise for all of it.
Okay.
Pat Bartz has already taken measurements over there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Good.
like Pat.
All right.
Um,
Anything else?
So replace with carpet,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to lower the library materials a little bit, and that's because our budget's gonna be.
All right.
And I'll take out self-checks, because that's not in there. And, water heaters is just a placeholder, because our water heaters are original to the building, so we know one of these
Days.
One
so
of
you're
these days it's
have
gonna
to-
go, so I
Okay.
just keep advancing it by a year every.
Good. That's a good
just
idea.
just so we have it in there.
Right. Right. Okay.
Boilers, air chiller, and flat roof would all be city stuff. So I'm not,
Okay.
anything else?
Not that I
Nope.
see. Looks
Okay.
good.
Okay.
All right. I make a motion. We adjourn.
Second it.
Okay, and Annie motioned, Amanda seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Time is 3:22 and we are done.